ostensibly a noble saint with a pure heart. In fact, it is a brain full of obsolete. I also like all kinds of amazing sisters who fiddle with each other. Just now, Adjutant Frame brings the saint to King Lu. Unexpectedly, the census became ashamed after seeing the Demon King. How is this Demon King different from what is described in the book? This temperament and this face are quite handsome. Then he shook his head. This must be the devil's fault. I need to wake up. Let the devil see the plump senses. This is too foul. The calmed Demon King wiped his nose-blade. Don't be deceived by the appearance of his little white rabbit. As the character who is most likely to lose his legs in the early stage of the game, as long as the evil is done to a certain extent or death, immediately deified. Seraphim, thou, I was killed in seconds. So never use the toilet on him. The more the leftover woman angrily calls the Demon King to stop pretending. Show your true nature. Whether it's data that makes the body weird, or little magic to transform the mind. It's useless to me. If I shout once, I will lose. The devil just wanted to explain. Flame next to him said, if the Demon King needs it, the subordinates can develop it now. The Buddha said he doesn't need the eyes. After the senses heard it, she misunderstood and didn't need these. Are you going to use that? I immediately made up in my mind that I had become a Demon King insect. At the thought of these saintesses, I immediately shouted no. Never become the devil yourself. I have no choice. What is this senses thinking about? Seeing the saint like this, Frame holds up his little crush. Draw from the saint in a lifetime. The virgin closed her eyes in fear. After waiting for a while, I found that it had not been hit by the whip. Open your eyes in doubt. It turned out that it was the Demon King who caught the whip. Protect in front of him. The devil has... I panicked and made a rash move like this. If the enemy will definitely be suspected, and Frame was getting nervous. Oops, gaff. If this goes on, he will definitely be hated by Lord Lu Su. At this moment, the two were afraid for a while. The Demon King coughed twice in embarrassment. Tell Frame to take the leftover girl to the room. Arrange for the punishment of the saint yourself. The senses hears that the Demon King is going to take her to her room. I panicked in an instant. It's actually the devil's room. Sure enough, he still wants to attack me. What happened to this leftover woman? All I could think about was what I had to code. Just as I told Frame, after bringing the saint to my room, the sensible Fram took the saint to the bath first. Remember what a leftover woman looked like just now? Frame was very upset at this time. Our Lady of Humanity as a captive? How dare you covet Lord Lu Su? Even if Lord Lu Su needs a servant, that can only serve me. But what exactly does Lord Lu Su want to do? At this time, the senses was also thinking about why the Demon King did this. And I made up my mind. Even if there is hell ahead, also have a go. After the virgin dried her hair, come to the room I prepared for him. The senses boasts of luxury. Offend. Or the soft bed I carefully prepared for him. To seduce him, the leftover woman immediately expressed, "My leftover girl, even if you freeze to death, you will not be tempted by such low-level tactics." 3 seconds later, with a thump, he fell on the soft big bed and rolled around happily. I thought in my heart that this Devil King is different from the legendary one, not a bad guy at all. But after a while, he got up sharply. "No, how could I have such an idea? Am I really misunderstood by these fans? Have you blinded your heart? It doesn't have to be the Demon King's mental magic. Start with a simple misunderstanding of temptation. Then slowly apply the hint until the end. The king of the devil. Think of this. You raise your little fists to cheer yourself up. No, I must never forget my mission. But it should be fine to lie down for a while, right?" Then he fell asleep with a smirk. This sleep lasted until the next day, until the morning sun shines on my face. Leftover women react, wake up suddenly. Why did I fall asleep? Hateful. For me to paint, even the bed is so soft. Just sinister. Superintendent of St. Opes Frame. Miss Virgin, it seems that you are quite satisfied with this room. Then I threw him a suit and said, "Replace it with this. Lord Luciu pointed out that he wants you to serve." The Virgin picks up her dress, found out it was a maid's dress. "I see. Thought I was going to wear your costume. Treat me as you humiliate me. It just gave me a nervous breakdown." That underestimates me. And there was no shame in dressing as a maid. After speaking, the girl put on the white silk dress without hesitation and said, and Fram, on the side, started thinking. "Lord Demon King seems to have changed a little recently. Stop me from interrogating prisoners and don't let me care. And now they have nice rooms for the prisoners. The so-called punishment is just changing into a maid's dress." Now the leftover girl screamed, "What is this? How can there be such a maid outfit? It's too shameful." Seeing the haunted reaction of the Virgin, I was stunned for my mother. It turns out that Lord Demon King has long known how to break through the Virgin's psychological defense. Just a simple change of clothes. You can shock the leftover women. Then he said to the leftover girl with sarcasm, Miss Sanctus, "Feel the wisdom of the Demon King." The senses blushed after hearing this. As expected of the Yin demon, I just want to play a color game. But the dog blood has crossed into the big devil in the game. The prisoner's leftover female eldest sister also dressed me in maid clothes. Just as the leftover girl put on the maid's clothes that she was equipped for, walked to me in high heels. Cold and cold, stop pretending. False devil. Confused, I turned to look at something, but was painted with a happy nosebleed by the scene in front of me. Damn, this body is so beautiful. The senses bumped into me. I didn't expect you to have such taste. The great Demon King will let the horse come no matter what. Then he tapped his hands on the table. Isn't that what you want to do? Just at this moment, the door is pushed open. My subordinate scream. And Bradley goes and looks behind the scenes. Moment. Then back out the door. Close the door. Sorry for being early. See, subordinate, misunderstanding. I hurriedly called him back. I didn't expect the leftover woman to be more angry. I even want others to watch. How despicable. What's going on in your head? What are the sons of the Ghost King? Just at this moment, Frame walked in with a map of the latest military situation. Then we officially began to discuss plans to attack humans. And the Virgin Mary on the side was confused. He actually made me listen to these military aircraft. I feel like I don't have to be defensive. Or is there some other conspiracy? When he saw the markings on the map. But surprised. The army of the Demon King, drive straight in. Impact encroaches on humans. If you attack so violently, you can't stand it at all. Think of this. The remaining nervous sculpts can't breathe. The body is shaking unconsciously. And then I looked at it and I thought, what the heck? Looking back later, according to the original development of the game, easily repel the human army and capture the fairy princess. But I refused. Only the defeat allowed the Demon King army to be beaten back to their hometown, so I don't have to worry about triggering death. And then I pointed to the map. Let Bragley lead his men. Go straight to the highest spicy drug. After Bragley heard, secretly express yourself. Don't have that strength. And I looked at him with a dazed expression on my face. You doubt my decision. Bradley thought to himself, I just deliberately let you, the boss who has no opposite. Although Bradley said it alone on the surface. In fact, the confusion between Magpie Bridge and Hell. So I started lying to him. Wuruo is to be regarded as the achievement of human wisdom. Even after my mother told me the explanation, I blamed myself. He is the president of Lord Lusu, but they don't know this important information. This is remiss. I couldn't even bear my parents' punishment. What do you think about the rest of the day? All I could think about was what I had to code. Even my lieutenant Frame Zhu Qisheng, thinking about how I would punish him. Looking at him strangely, he didn't fly. He was pointing at Bradley. Let him organize a vanguard. Go to attack the fortress head-on during the day. Bradley risked shouting a steel gun to retort. And Frame has his foot on his stool. Are you suspecting the Demon King? After saying that, he pointed to the woman next to him. The shameful look of this lady saint is the best proof? The senses hurriedly shook her head when she heard the words, No, I'm not. Bradley looked at the senses in front of him. It's only been 2 days. The devil turned him into this humble and submissive look. So he got the order, ready to meet Bradley. I took a long breath after I left. Dark thoughts inside. What information? What empty city plan? It's all my nonsense. If I keep making it up, I'll have to believe it myself. I didn't notice the leftover woman looking at me in horror. Why would the Demon King know about Proya? Who leaked the news? And then the rest of them were asked in a condescending manner. Which other senior allied figure has been captured by you? I quickly waved my hand to explain. So far, we only caught you. Where are the other senior figures? But after the senses heard it, she started to think again. Was it when I fell asleep yesterday? Hypnotized by the devil's spirit. Then he was pressed for information. Just thinking about this. The saint slapped the table with anger, and I started sobbing. I looked at the senses walking in confusion. This is scolding the groom again. But this perspective is too sinful. Calm down. Don't think about a nuclear bomb. Talo pocket. I quickly knocked on the wooden fish. Force calm down. At this time, the senses stood up and shouted. Do you think it's not bad medicine? Is it so easy for you to conquer? That's a super defense system that has been in business for thousands of years. I stood up in excitement. That's great. And he put his hand on her shoulder. Let the flies of the Silver Army attack during the day. It's not just to send people's heads. I guess so. You made me speak so forcefully. Instantly feel like you've lost. The momentum is not good. The momentum cannot be lost. Come up randomly without fear. Yes, your attack will surely fail. And we need dwarves. Dream. I got even more excited and pressed him down on the table. That's right. Human alchemy and dwarf explosives. Didn't you create an alchemy cannon? One shot of erosion is also